I don't know. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Nothing behind those eyes, doll's eyes, black eyes. And then, what do you think, Eric, of Corey Graves? He still does it, and I guess it's his thing right now, but the way he freaks out whenever Mandy Rose comes out, is it time to sort of stop that? Or is that's what's helping her get over more than anything? What do you think?
I don't know. It's weird. I go back and forth on it because, the two things he's kind of very consistent with is his obsession and love of Mandy Rose and his hatred for Sasha Banks, which I did jot down this week when Cole was like, Natalia and Ronda are good friends, of course. Sasha Banks, and then Corey cuts him off and goes, has no friends. Just like...
I mean, it might be true, but yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where, because he won't let things go, that it just seems like you create this whole backstory for him. Like, Sasha Banks once turned him down for a date, and now he's never letting her. He just comes off as such like a weird, obsessive, angry, I don't know, guy about certain things. I'm not going to say woman hater, but it's usually about something having to do with a woman. Like, whether it's really obsessed over Renee's marriage or like losing his utter shit whenever Mandy Rose comes out. Like, back in the day when Bobby Heenan was, and here's the thing, I don't think Corey Graves is a bad announcer. I like him more than not.
And actually, I think he's very funny. Like, he will have a lot of things that will. I actually laughed a lot this week when he said, 2 paws is a cat. He has no business on social media.
Well, right before that, I liked when Renee said something that Natty tweeted out, and he's like, what? He's like, don't you follow Natty on Twitter? He's like, nope. It's probably the most I've ever liked him. But back in the day when Heenan was comical about the way he would lie, and it was an obvious lie, and he knew he was lying, and so when all Gorilla Monsoon would have to just do is either, one, look at him if they were on TV, and just look at him with disdain, and be like, you're a piece of work. Or like, will you stop this? All he would have to do is say one thing to Bobby, and Bobby's entire speech would fall apart. Because Bobby was a buffoon who knew what he was doing. But Corey isn't quite there with his character because he still has to be cool and sort of alpha. And so I still want someone to try that with him, though. To like turn to him and be like, will you knock it off? Or like when he's going off about Mandy, just... all Byron has to do is turn to him and think, like, how lonely are you? You know, how right. This is really unbecoming. Like what you're doing right here. This is kind of, Corey, this is gross. Will you stop? And
who hurt you? I'm trying to remember now, Matt. Do you remember because there was a weird moment with Renee on Monday, and now I don't remember if it was Cole or Corey, but it would certainly fit our narrative better if it was Corey asking when Dean came out and she said, he looks good with that belt.
Yeah.
And one of them said, was there a celebration last night? It was
that was Corey.
Did you have sex to celebrate him winning?
Any doubt after what I just said that was not Corey Graves?
That's what I figured. So yeah, there is kind of a narrative here about it.
Yeah, it's like his
weird obsession.
He wants to watch them have sex. That's basically it. Or he wants to join in, or he just wants to be there and take notes. I don't know what he wants to do, but it's getting very uncomfortable, and they're not stopping it. They keep. But that's the thing. It's like he said, was there a celebration? And she's like, I'm certainly not telling you, which means yes. Right. Which means yes, they had sex on top of the belt.
But you know, I by the way, I got way into the reality of them saying back home last night, and I'm like, wait a second, TLC was in San Jose and now they're in Sacramento. There's no way they went back to Vegas last night, man, just to have celebration sex after the title win.
Home is where the belt is.
I guess so.
Is this the end of the D-Nights, though, now that Seth disguised himself as one of those masked...
I just wanted to know why they were like not with him at TLC. By the way, I really like his new variation on his theme music with the air horn. It's very purgy, which it already was, a little bit, just the whole visual. But I do enjoy the air horn ad. And I did think it was funny that they took out all the extra burn it downs that they had 1 week. And that happens. It's funny when they decide, that's not working. they changed Seth's music for a week and then they changed it back.
Now I'm thinking you hallucinated it.
I did not.
I don't think it was real. Because I was, you said it, and I was kind of going with it last week. I'm like, all right, Eric's hearing things.
No, watch Raw.
I'm not going back to watch last week's Raw.
Damn it.
It's a runaway train. I can't go back. There's only forward.
If you watched Raw a week ago, it kept saying burn it down over and over again.
All right.
All right, but now by TLC it was gone. But Dean had his new air horn music, which continued the next night. But I just wanted to know why his gas mask. I did actually another funny Corey line, I believe, which was, are the guys in masks close personal friends? Just like wants to know the backstory.
I know. Like I said, like they've been sleeping in her garage.
Hey, mask dudes. Actually, yeah. So there's got to be
making them like cucumber and cream cheese sandwiches and like.
Trish made those last night.
They're delicious.
They are delicious. But does that mean that one of their gas mask buddies is tied up in the garage because Seth replaced him? So,
or he's just brutally murdered by Ruby Riott,
yes.
Right? Or by Natty, by Natty,
burnt to a crisp. Yes.
Well, yeah, they have to char his remains so that the report of his identity doesn't get out.
Hey, Matt.
That would ruin Seth's entire ambush.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my notes, and this is very me. Obviously, you can tell what moment I wrote this. I wrote, surprise, surprise, it's Rollins in disguise.
Wow, your notes get very referential and detailed.
They don't usually, but at this
I would
point,
write something
I
like,
thought it was a
Seth mask kick. Like
at this point, I thought it was very important. I referenced a Return of the Jedi action figure commercial from the 1980s.
I mean, it was Lando in disguise. So I was only sad that wasn't in actually Return of the Jedi.
Yes. Yeah, like Luke didn't proclaim that at that moment.
Or Lando. I feel like Lando would say that himself.
Oh yeah, he would. Hey, surprise, surprise! Now I wish he did that. Damn it! One more special edition. Have him do that voiceover. I also, it was interesting having Seth basically acknowledge the boos by saying, "I heard everything the crowd was saying." As far as
apparently Vince was furious. The reports are Vince was furious that people were shitting on that match, that the crowd was.
Look, I mean, at the end of the day, again, it's like, look, Vince is, he's certainly endorsing, we're seeing this push with Becky and certain things. So it's not, I don't want to be like, Vince never wants the women to have anything, but look, the poster for TLC was still Seth and Dean, right?
Yeah.
Like that was still everyone's chair they took home was of the disappointing match. If they got the chair, they were sitting ringside.
Did you see Big E's? I put it on.
Oh, I did. In Renee's response.
Anyway,
we should explain what Big E tweeted.
Maybe. How about not? They've got Google.
Right.
They've got Google. Even over in Scotland, they can figure that one out.
All right, Big E, Seth Dean. There, I've given you enough hints.
Something. I don't know. Yeah. Chair picture tweet.
Yes.
Let's close this out just by saying that you and I were both aligned on this, that we, as much as we really love Becky and what she's doing right now, it was awesome for Asuka to win that title. And that was my mood going into the match, which is like anyone but Charlotte was that was my mood heading into the final main event match. Was I'm fine with anyone winning as long as it's not Charlotte Flair. And it's not, I don't have a hatred for Charlotte Flair. I just think she's the safe choice right now. And it's the least interesting outcome would have been her
100%. And I think Charlotte's great. I just said, I thought she was kind of the MVP of the match. She's puts on phenomenal matches, but totally agree. Didn't want her to win this match. And I think it really was the best outcome. Again, Asuka, we're both fans of Asuka, you even more so than me. She had, was so, poorly used post WrestleMania, barely used post WrestleMania. So yes, she's not coming back into this as, they can't kind of reclaim sort of the monster she was. And I understand Ronda, you could say quote unquote helped her win. But at the end of the day, I think it's a win for everyone as far as, in no way does it diminish where Becky's at. In fact, it's going to aim her towards a Ronda match. Whereas Asuka finally gets to be champ, and that's great. So, I was just very pleased with how that all turned out.
Me as well. And thank you, everyone, for listening. We are on Twitter at the Matt Fowler and the Eric Goldman, and the podcast is on Twitter at WEW Podcast. You can listen to us everywhere and rate us and subscribe to us at those places. We have a Facebook page, Instagram, and thank you, everyone. Everything is possible, but nothing is real. And Shakma.
Shakma!
All you do is proud. Because I don't want no scrubs.
Really?
No.
You're not aware that's a TLC song?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You said chasing waterfalls, now you're saying you don't want no scrubs?
I don't even understand the reference.
It's like a tick.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Remember, this thing gets messy. We never talked.
You can trust us?
Real quiet. You gotta creep. Creep.
Come on. You don't say creep creep unless you're quoting TLC.
We enjoy wrestling.